The following is a production of CUTV Sports.
University of Pennsylvania. This afternoon we have a PSAC West rivalry matchup between the Clarion Golden Eagles and the Vulcans of California. Hello and welcome to the broadcast, everyone. My name is Matt Hagee. Alongside me is Damon Matson. And Damon, on Wednesday the Vulcans had what they thought of was the game of the year in the PSAC West, and they came away and shocked the entire conference.
It was a huge game for the Vulcans in their last game. They won 76-45 over IUP to jump to first place in the PSAC. Frats and Kuko combined had 38 points, and Mahadi also had a big game with 10 rebounds as well.
And as for Clarion, they struggled season so far, and then they went out to play Sheeton Hill last Wednesday and came up a little bit short.
Yeah, they did come up just short in that game. They lost to Seton Hill 73-63. Tiana Holmes had 21 points, so a big game for her. And Tarika James Carey had 18 points and 10 rebounds as well.
Now, the last time these two teams faced was way back in December up at Tippin Gymnasium. And when the two teams played, it seemed like a mismatch, but for the most part, Clarion held their own with California.
Yeah, they did. Clarion did hold their own against Cal, but Cal still came out with the victory 72-61 back in December. So we'll see if this game today is going to be also as close as the last one.
Two players we're going to watch today for California. We're going to start with the senior Irina Kuko. She's really come on strong lately.
Irina Kuko has had a great last couple of games. Of course, she had a huge game in that game against IUP last time out, so we'll see if she has a big factor in this one as well.
For Clarion, we're going to take a look at Tanea Holmes. She had a huge game against California last time in December.
Well, we talked about Tanea Holmes. She had 22 points in the last meeting between these two teams, and of course 21 points in her last game as well. So she's a big part of this offense. We'll see if she continues to contribute today.
Should be a great matchup today. Stay tuned for all the action here on CTV from the Convocation Center. It's a special matinee game today between Clarion and California.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted.
We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Welcome back to the Convocation Center. So we're about ready to tip this game off between the Clarion Golden Eagles and the California Vulcans. Hello, my name is Matt Hagee, and alongside me is Damon Matson. And Damon, we're going to take a look at the tail of the tape for these two teams.
Yeah, taking a look at the tail of the tape, you can obviously see from the stats that California definitely has the advantage. They score almost about 20 more points a game than Clarion does, and as well they play a pretty good defense as well, only allowing about 60 points a game. And a big part of California's game is steals. You can see that 12.4 a game, so look for that to be a big part of it too, as Clarion tends to turn the ball over quite a bit as well.
It's been a struggle for Clarion after losing their star player, Hannah Heater, who's been there for all 4 years, one of the most decorated players in Clarion players. We see head coach Jess Strom there. We actually have these starting lineups for the Vulcans as they're about to be announced.
Yes, we do, and we have for the Vulcans, we get the usual starting five. Number 2, Emma Mahadi. We also have number 11, Caitlin Feratz. We also have number 12, Lana Doran. Number 21, Mickey Glenn. And then finally rounding out the starting lineup is number 22, Irina Kuko for the Vulcans.
It's the same starting five that have led the Vulcans now to first place in the PSAC West. For Clarion, they have a new look team now, obviously with now Hannah Heater there, and it starts with their playmaker, Tanea Holmes.
That's right. She is their playmaker on offense, and she starts out the starting five for Clarion here today. Then we also have number 5, Amisha Hardin-Pulliam. And then we also have number 15, Leslie Hoy. And number 22, Delrica Jones-Carey. She's our player to watch for Clarion today. She was part of one of the players to watch with Tanea Holmes, so watch for her to be a big factor in this one as well. And then finally rounding out the starting 5 would be Jen Straw, number 33 for Clarion.
And Jen Straw is trying to take over that role that Hannah Heater played. As you see, the new head coach for Clarion, her name is Jana Ashley, as you see on her screen right there. It's a very struggling season, but a lot of things to deal with injuries. So she's doing a pretty good job though, handling the team.
Yes, she is. I mean, she's dealing with a younger team right now, which Clarion does have. So they actually might be bringing back all their starters next year, and as well the injuries that has hurt Clarion quite a bit. But I'm sure they're going to come out strong in this one, knowing they're playing the top team in the PSAC here today.
And all 5 of the Clarion starters are underclassmen, so you're seeing the future of the Clarion Golden Eagles right here. It's going to be Irina Kuko and Delrica Jones-Carey, both number 22s, are going to be set for the tip-off here. Referee has the ball, puts it up, and we are underway, and the tip-off's controlled by Caitlin Frotz. Mickey Glenn will start it out for the Vulcans, setting the offense and hands it off to Lana Doran. Gives it back to Glenn inside the Mahadi. Mahadi, she'll just pull for a jumper, in and out, rebounded by Doran. No good, rebounded by Straw.
And a good start right there by the Vulcans, trying to get those points to fall. Didn't get a bounce right there. We'll see what happens now on defense.
So now inside, this is Jones-Carey storming around Kuko, puts up the basket and puts it in, and Clarion gets on the board first.
And there is Jones-Carey. I told you she was going to be one of the people to watch, along with Tanea Holmes right there, starting off the scoring for Clarion. Good way for them to start out this game.
Definitely needed that on the road here. Here's Emma Mahadi, flares it over to Frotz. Frotz for the lead with a 3, and good. Caitlin Frotz wide open, 3-2 California.
And Caitlin Frotz had a huge game in that last one against IUP. She was shooting the ball really well and just playing an all-around great game. So good to see her get rewarded right off the bat with a 3-pointer.
You can see her defense as well right there as she is handling Hardin-Pulliam. She hands it off to Holmes. Holmes is going to pull back for a 3. That one's good. Clarion sharp shooting so far, 2 for 2.
And that's what they need to do to start out this game against California. California plays stout defense, so if they get on the board quick with these quick points, that's going to help them out in this game.
A defense that has held the last 3 opponents under 50 points as Kuko gets the ball underneath the basket and gets fouled by Delrica Jones-Carey. That'll be the first foul of the game.
And you did mention it, Matt. You're right. The California Vulcans defense has been phenomenal of late, of course, holding IUP to 45, and then the previous game also only 48 points given up. So they have done a fantastic job of late on defense. A little bit of a rough start here, but I'm sure they'll probably rebound that.
And Kuko puts in the first free throw there, 52.3% on the season, but she's shooting a lot better from the free throw stripe. But it's, I mean, on those first 2 possessions, California's played good defense. It's just, that was a good shot by Tanea Holmes. Kuko will tie the game up here with 2 free throws. It's 5-5.
Yeah, the 2 basically top players for Clarion right now. And
forecourt press stolen away by Lana Doran. Over to Mickey Glenn. There's that opportunistic Vulcans defense we were talking about. Glenn hands it off to Frotz. Frotz going to the baseline. It's back to Glenn. It's tipped away by Holmes. And Holmes, almost steps out of bounds. She's able to get it. She goes around Mickey Glenn, puts up a shot and puts it in. Tanea Holmes out to a good start at 7-5.
My goodness, I didn't even see that happen. And there's
now
another
Caitlin Frotz storms right back and ties the game at 7. Clarion was caught looking.
My goodness, man, I don't even know what's going on right now. This is such fast-paced basketball, back and forth, and man, I can't even catch up on what's going on in the plays. They're happening so quickly.
So now Hardin-Pulliam, the men's game the day before, that was pretty quick action as well. These Clarion teams like to try to turn games into track meet. So we see Holmes get the pass from Delrica Jones-Carey. Trying to do anything they can to compete here. But as we have 5 seconds on the shot clock, Holmes has got to get off, goes around Kuko, puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Kuko. Here come the Vulcans with numbers. Here's Frotz. Frotz back to Kuko. Good pass, good teamwork, no good. And out of bounds, it's going to be called out on Hardin-Pulliam.
Well, that time the pace of play definitely slowed down as Clarion had only 5 on the shot clock, hurried that shot up, and then the Vulcans were able to get a good transition and try to put that layup, just not a good bounce.
Glenn will inbound for the Vulcans here. She's looking for somebody, fires it out to Kuko, and she'll charge back to get it home and reset the offense here. 17:29 remaining here in the first half. Now she gives a pass inside to Kuko. Looks around, gives it back to Glenn. Yeah, she's out to Frotz. Frotz working the baseline. Frotz goes around, puts in a shot. Caitlin Frotz with 7 of the first 9 Vulcan points.
Unbelievable. She had a huge game. Like I said last time, she's coming out here on fire to start the game. We'll see if she can continue that as well on defense.
Now Harden Pulliam goes around Frotz. Too strong, rebounded by Mahadi. Mahadi fires it right back to Doran. Perfect pass, he puts it in. What a read by Emma Mahadi.
This passing game right here by California has been phenomenal. As we get a timeout called here by Clarion as they try to regroup. They've been finding the open players and getting those passes in there, and they're getting the points because of it.
And Clarion, I mean, off to a good start shooting, but right there, so Harden Pulliam missed it. It set up Emma Mahadi's rebound, and kudos to Lana Doran for charging down the court. And Mahadi, I mean, I'll tell you what, Damon, she looks like a quarterback back there, reading the passes, finding her open teammates, and that pass was right on the money because there was 2 other players. She had to thread the needle there.
Yes, Emma Mahadi may not be reaping the benefits on the score sheet. She may not be getting that many points, but she has done a fantastic job distributing the basketball, getting it to her teammates to put in those easy points, and that's what's helped the Vulcans win so many games lately, is just the effective teamwork that they've had on the court.
We're going to see Maria Taylor check in for Delrica Jones Carey for Clarion, the first substitution in this game. Now Harden Pulliam has possession. Gives it to Kuko. Kuko with good defense. Huge collision, but Mickey Glenn still gets the turnover. Glenn will give it to Mahadi with a lot of speed again. Mahadi fires it. One Frotz. It's stolen away by Hoy. Hoy comes back the other way. Now she's double teamed. Mahadi steals it right back. And here comes Mahadi. Glenn to the basket. Ripped down. Fouled by Tanea Holmes.
And that was a rare turnover in the offensive side of the court for the Vulcans as they turned it over, but they were able to effectively catch back up, play their good defense, get the ball right back with another steal, and go the other way. So good job going back up the court even after a mistake like that.
Mickey Glenn will go to the free throw stripe, 83.3% on the season. I'm pretty sure she leads the team in free throw attempts, and she puts this one back here to make it a 12-7 lead for the Vulcans. And on that last play there, even though Mahadi with the turnover, she made it up with her and Frotz just pounded the freshman Leslie Holes and then got the ball right back here as Glenn sinks both of them and makes it a 13-7 lead for the Vulcans here, 16:25 remaining.
That was a great double team on that last possession to get the ball back, and it ended up being 2 extra points for the Vulcans.
Harden Pulliam gives it back to Holmes, and then back to Harden Pulliam. Inside looking for Taylor, but finds Jen Straw, and she puts the basket in. Good passing all around, and Clarion gets 2 points.
And a quick answer right here as Clarion's trying to keep this game fairly close to start out. It's been back and forth basketball, but they've kept it close, only down by 4.
Clarion only was down 1 at halftime in Timothy Gymnasium. They normally do not play well in California. I believe they haven't won in almost 20 years. Here's Mickey Glenn inside the Mahadi. She is double teamed. She gets out of the trap, pulls up for a jumper. No good, rebounded by Maria Taylor. It's a good look right there, but Mahadi only shooting 3 for 17 against IUP, but got a lot of tough luck with the rim. Here's Harden Pulliam over to Hoy. Hoy worked on by Mickey Glenn. Now she goes to the basket, puts it up. No good. Rebounded right to Holmes. Now Holmes fires inside the Taylor. She puts it up. No good. Rebounded by Kuko. Kuko runs into Hoy, and she'll draw the foul. Hoy tried to check her up at center court, but she'll get called for the foul. Second foul for Clarion.
I believe we did talk about in the open, too, about Emma Mahadi. She didn't shoot very well in that last game against IUP, but there's nothing you can do about that. You just got to keep going.
And will bring us to our first media timeout here with 15-17 left in the first half. Vulcans lead Clarion 13-9. And Damon, let's take a look at some of the team leaders, starting with California.
You can take a look at the team leaders. We talked about the teamwork for the Vulcans, and right there with scoring. 2 players tied with about 15.6 points per game, so they're definitely distributing the basketball. But overall, it's Mickey Glenn. She basically leads this offensive charge for the Vulcans. A lot of steals, a lot of assists, and then, of course, rebounding. We talked about Mahadi may not be getting the points, but she's definitely getting those rebounds for the Vulcans.
And Mahadi and Glenn are those 2 players with 15.6. Normally, it was Mahadi leading the way most of the season. As for Clarion, normally when we do a Clarion game, we'd see Hannah Heater, but now when she's gone, now you see a lot of Tanea Holmes.
Yeah, when she's hurt, you got Tanea Holmes. She has stepped up and definitely led the charge on offense for Clarion, of course, leading in scoring, steals, and as well playing the most minutes out of anybody on this team. And then, of course, a couple other players that we wanted to watch. Jones Carey, the big presence down low. She gets a lot of those rebounds as well. So a couple of other players contributing whenever you have somebody go down for Clarion.
early team leaders so far in points in this game. Caitlin Fraud started off well, 7 points, 7 of the first 9 Vulcan points. And then for the Clarion, Tanea Holmes leads the way with 5 so far. And she's played all minutes. In California, looks like they're going to keep, Coach Jess Strom's going to keep the same 5 that she started out with. No substitutions so far.
Yeah, keeping a pretty much the same look to start off this game. They've come out with a very good start to this game. A lot of energy and focus, and they've been able to put 13 points up. Of course, like you said, 7 of those for Caitlin Frotz.
Now here's Frotz over to Mickey Glenn inside the Mahadi. She fires it back to Frotz. Frotz works inside. Tries to find Kuko, gets picked off by Jen Straw. Straw sets up the pick, but still Clarion having a tough time getting it over. Now they do. Here's Holmes. Holmes looking for Straw. Catches it with her left hand. Fires it back to Taylor. No good. Rebounded by Doran. Vulcans come back here with Mickey Glenn. Hands it off to Mahadi. Out to Glenn. She's going to reset here. 14:42 left. Here's Emma Mahadi. To Doran. Now back to Kuko. Kuko works around the offense, loses possession of the basketball. Looks like it went off a straw there.
And it looks like we're going to get another substitution coming in the game here for Clarion. It's going to be Jones Carey coming back in the game. So Clarion trying to get their starting 5 basically back on the court together, hopefully. Right here.
And back is the same starting 5, only 1 substitution so far, and that was getting Maria Taylor in the game. Here's Lana Doran inside the Mahadi. Mahadi put on the moves, go up, and looks like she's going to get called for a travel there. Looked like a little hesitant what she wanted to do, and then she ends up walking.
And nothing you can do right there. She was guarded real well. As we see another substitution right here, so it looks like Sierra Barrett's going to come in for Cal. She always plays a big presence, especially down low.
Also, Kara Cook has checked in the game for the Clarion Golden Eagles. And Sierra Barrett, 4 straight PSAC West Freshman of the Week honors as we see Hardin Pulliam give the ball back to Holmes. She did not win it last week. It was almost amazing, but she put up some great numbers as well. It's going to call an argument. Now Jen Straw loses the ball, gives it back to Holmes. She fires for 3, no good, out of bounds. It looks like it's going to be Clarion basketball.
And thus far, a lot of missed opportunities for Clarion. They're missing a few shots. We'll see if, as we go along in this game, California can't capitalize on those and get a lot of points the other way.
Kara Cook inbounds to Hardin Pulliam, and now she's under pressure. She gives it back to Cook. Now Mickey Glenn giving it to Delarica Jones-Carey, and Jones-Carey loses possession. It'll be California ball.
And right now, great defense by the Vulcans. They're playing a very tight defense right now. They're covering all the options for any passes right now. Clarion hasn't been able to connect on very many of those, so good defense to start out this game for the Vulcans.
Mickey Glenn takes it back there, and that one thing I love about the defense is that inbounds pass. Here's Lana Doran for no good, too short, rebounded by Holmes, but that inbounds defense for the Vulcans has been incredible. He had so many steals off of it. Here's Hardin Pulliam taking it back, hands it off to Kara Cook. Cook guarded by Doran. Cook lost it for a second, and Doran continues to try to slap the ball out. And quick snipes. Here's Cook spinning around, putting up the shot. No good, rebounded by Barrett. Barrett fires it back to Glenn. Gives it over to Kuko. And now Glenn will reset the offense here. 13 minutes exactly. Glenn over to Kuko in the right corner. Hands it to Glenn at the point. Glenn puts on the moves, goes to the basket, and puts the basket in and one.
Unbelievable moves right there by Glenn. She had to cut through a few defenders right there. She was able to get that lane to the basket as well as drawing the foul. So gets the 2 points and now gets a chance to have some more right here.
If she puts this one back here, it'll be her 5th point so far. Glenn, no good. Rebounded, out of bounds. It'll be Barrett. It'll be Clarion basketball. Barrett got her right hand on it, so tough miss there for Mickey Glenn. She normally misses about 1 a game, and she's one of the best free throw shooters, but normally there's that one that just doesn't make the rim.
Well, hey, if that's the one she's going to miss in this game, that's fine with me, fine with us. If she makes the rest of them as we go along here, it should be interesting to see it also as well, see what the free throws can do affecting this game.
Tanea Holmes take it back. It goes inside to Hardin Pulliam. Good pass inside Jen Straw. No one covered her, no good. Now Straw puts back her rebound and finally gets it to go. So after the first attempt, she picks her right back up and beats Sierra Barrett. Glenn will take it back here. It's getting close to the second immediate timeout. Clarion still holding their own. Here's a pass. Sierra Barrett puts it back, and she's going to get called for a charge.
And that's the kind of play that Sierra Barrett always usually has, especially down low. She gets physical down there, trying to get her way to the basket. Sometimes she gets the fouls called on her, and that one right there, tough break. Nothing could do about it though. Turn back, play defense.
Holmes will take it back here. It's over to Kara Cook. Now slide away by Lana Doran. She'll get, but Holmes will take it right back from her. Doran almost had a pick there. Now she gives it over to Jasmine Boyd. Boyd puts up a shot, no good, right in the arms of Caitlin Frotz. Glenn fires it down court to Kuko with a lot of speed. Kuko should just pull back, give it back to Doran, and back to Glenn, the Frotz, and back to Glenn. Glenn pulls up a jumper, good. Mickey Glenn off to a hot start. 6 points for the sophomore.
Great passing right there by the Vulcans. Again, this game has had a lot of speed to it to start off, and they've been able to connect with those passes in a quick fashion, and that's kind of helped keep Clarion off balance.
Holmes inside, pulling him, swatted away by Sierra Barrett, but right in the arms of Jasmine Boyd. Now Holmes back to Straw. Inside, picked away by Lana Doran against the Frotz. Frotz with a lot of speed. Barrett sets up the pick. Frotz puts it in, and good. Caitlin Frotz with 9 points.
Frotz has had an unbelievable first half so far in this game for the Vulcans. With those 9 points, she's played great defense, getting those steals like always, and again, 9 points leading all scorers thus far in this game. Huge.
Gotta love having Sierra Barrett as a guard with her to block off any Clarion defenders to give her open lane. Kara Cook blocks shot there by Caitlin Frotz, and Cook will get it back. She loses again, stolen away by Barrett, who gets it to Glenn. What a play. Now Glenn coming back, a lot of speed, puts a spin move on it, puts it back. What a move, Mickey Glenn.
Mickey Glenn has just come out here with the moves today. She is cutting through pretty much every Clarion defender she sees. That time going past 2 of them with that spin move.
She's got 8. Frotz has 9. That leads the way for the Vulcans out. Another stole pass from right to Jen Straw. Straw puts up the shot. Too strong, no good. Rebounded by Lana Doran. And Glenn will take it back here. 10:24 remaining. A lot of quick action. Not a lot of stoppage at all. Glenn over to Frotz. Over to Glenn. Glenn thought about 3. She'll just pull off for a jumper instead and rolls it in. Mickey Glenn's the first one to double digits.
And Mickey Glenn, we talked about her. She hasn't had as many points over the last few games, but coming out here today, the first one to double digits, she's looking like she's on point with her shots today.
But when you have Clarion shutting down Emma Mahadi so far, you need that. Now a huge triple team now. Now Harden Pulliam gets it back to Jen Straw, and she puts it in. Straw was uncovered, and Straw's up to a good start for Clarion. She leads the way with 6.
That was some impressive passing right there by Clarion. That's the first time I've seen them do that all day today, connecting the dots, getting it underneath the basket to Straw for the easy 2.
But still a double-digit lead for the Vulcans here. Kuko fires it over to Barrett and back to Glenn. Glenn again puts on the moves, steps around, gives it to Barrett. She'll pull for a jumper and makes it. Sierra Barrett responds for her first 2 points of the day.
And that's good to see for Sierra Barrett right there. She plays the great defense, and everything else you need from her to get her on the score sheet is awesome to see.
And I'll tell you what, Damon, if she's not PSAC West Freshman of the Year, I don't know who is. Now, a good pass by Straw to Harden Pulliam, too strong. Rebounded by Boyd. She puts it back and puts the shot in. She'll go for a chance for and one.
And I agree with you completely on that, Matt. I could see Sierra Barrett definitely possibly being Freshman of the Year, the way she's played for the Vulcans, as we have our media timeout.
And second media timeout, we'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll have the second half of the first half here on CUTV.
NCAA Division II has much to cheer about, as nearly 100,000 student athletes compete with passion and pride. And I'm pleased to share the best news of all. Student athletes are outperforming the rest of the D2 student body in graduation rates. Just another reason why you'll hear us say with pride, I chose Division II. Learn more at d2sa.org.
With 18 institutions, my conference is the largest league across all NCAA classifications. With nearly 7,000 student athletes competing in 23 championships, my conference sponsors the most championships in Division II. With a 78% academic success rate, my conference graduates student athletes well above the national average. We compete with passion. We take pride in our efforts in the arena and in the classroom. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Passion, pride, Pennsylvania.
Back to the Convocation Center here. We have just a little under 9 minutes to go. 9:07 to go here in the first half, and California out to a 10-point lead.
Yeah, the Vulcans and the Clarion both playing a fast-paced style of basketball, which is why we only got 9:07 left on the clock already. They've been going back and forth, a lot of quick action, but the Vulcans have done a good job capitalizing on a couple of mistakes by Clarion, and that's how they're out to this 10-point lead.
But Clarion was down by 12, but then Jasmine Boyd came back and was able to get a friendly bounce on the rim, and she'll go to the line here, try to complete the three-point play, but only shooting 59.3 on the season. No good. Rebounded, tipped around, eventually corralled by Lana Doran. So a big miss there by Jasmine Boyd, and Glenn will take it back for the Vulcans. Glenn, first one to double digits, hands it off to Lana Doran. We see Cece Dixon for the first time in this game. And Cece Dixon with the basketball, puts it in, too short. She gets the rebound back, spins around, puts it back, and she's going to get called for a travel. Tough break.
Oh, very tough break right there. She had that open, contested but open look right there. She was able to get the rebound to fall, but got the travel right there, and Clarion gets possession back.
It's a tough break because normally you don't see Cece Dixon get a lot of scoring, only 2.1 points per game here. Now we see Leslie Hoy. Gives it over to Tanea Holmes. Holmes worked on by Doran. She backs off. Brown gives it off to Harden Pulliam. Harden Pulliam gives it back to Holmes. 5 on the shot clock. I gotta get something off here. Holmes puts up the shot. No good. Rebounded. Big scrum right by Jasmine Boyd. Boyd puts back the shot. No good. Rebounded by Cece Dixon. She's gonna get Leslie Hoy poked the ball out and California retained possession.
And I don't know the exact number right now, but with this defense for the Vulcans thus far, they've been able to have Clarion have a lot of missed shots, and they've been able to capitalize on a few of them. See what happens here.
Mahadi fires it over to Frotz. Frotz from the right corner. Good. Easy swish. Caitlin Frotz, she's got 12.
And right now it seems to be a shootout between Frotz and Glenn. Who can get the most points thus far? They both had phenomenal games thus far shooting. They're just on point.
Frotz has been, this last month has been absolutely incredible for the Vulcans. Here's Holmes inside to Jasmine Boyd. Boyd puts up a shot, gets it to roll in, and Clarion cuts it to an 11-point lead. So Glenn will take it back and give it to Mahadi, who still has not recorded a point. Well, she's going to try to change that right here, and she does. Emma Mahadi is on the board.
And you knew eventually, sooner or later, the way Mahadi's been playing, that she would get on the board, and there it is right there, breaking the ice on the score sheet. We'll see if she heats up as well in this game with Frotz and Glenn as well.
Here is Harden Pulliam for Clarion, hands it off to Holmes. Now big pressure by Caitlin Frotz. She'll back off. Holmes looking for someone, gives it to Harden Pulliam. Gets inside the Boyd. Boyd puts up a shot too strong, rebounded by Hoy, puts it back and gets it to go. That was Delrika Jones-Carey, excuse me. Couldn't see with all the players down there. California handed it off and around again. Here's Glenn over to Frotz. Side to Cece Dixon. Dixon back to Frotz. Frotz with a long three, no good. Rebounded by Delrika Jones-Carey. California was boxed out. Harden Pulliam takes it back. Oh, almost stolen away there by Glenn. But now Holmes forces inside the Boyd, and she gets it back, and Jasmine Boyd's having a nice game herself.
Yeah, Boyd's having a good job down low. She's doing a great job getting those open looks and getting those layups to go down.
Glenn hands it off to Doran. So Clarion has cut this lead. Single digits. Here's Mahadi putting it back, and Emma Mahadi, the Aussie, is heating up.
There it is, 4 straight points from Mahadi. We knew eventually that would happen. Now she's getting those open looks, and it's paying off for the Vulcans.
5:59 remaining here in the first half. These media timeouts have really not been scheduled. A lot of great action. Here's Tanea Holmes, double teamed. Gives it over to Harden Pulliam. Pulliam works around, gives it to Boyd. Boyd now over to Delrika Jones-Carey. 5 on the shot clock. They got to get something off again. Here is Boyd. Boyd, turnaround jumper, no good. Rebounded by Jones-Carey. She loses it right to Doran. Now Glenn spins around the trap that Clarion set up. Gives to Mahadi. Mahadi, long two, buries it. Emma Mahadi. Big points. 37-21 Vulcans.
And she's gotten 6 points in the last, I would say, about 2 minutes. She's just on fire right now. And you're right, this game has been so fast-paced and so quick. High-scoring game as time is just flying by in this first half.
Now Clarion takes it back here. Excuse me, it is 34-21. The scoreboard was very weird. They changed around the numbers here, but we have a stoppage here, and it'll be California will take it here, 34-21. 5:08 remaining here. Now, Damon, we're going to take a look at the PSAC West standings. And, Damon, this game being recorded on Sunday, the other teams played yesterday, so these are pretty much updated.
Yeah, definitely. We already got all the results from yesterday, but you can see California right there at the top of the PSAC with the same record as Indiana in the PSAC, 15-2 record. So both those teams kind of battling it out, especially after that big matchup the other day. And a win today would give us a half-game lead over IUP to keep that top spot. So it's a pretty important game in a way, like always, for the Vulcans.
And IUP with a huge win over Gannon, getting the season sweep up at the Hammermill Center. Very impressive win. Edinburgh beat Mercyhurst. And then also a big game between Seton Hill and Pitt Johnstown. Seton Hill got off to a huge start, but almost blew the lead, but they were able to hold on there. And right now, if the playoffs ended today, Seton Hill would be 5 and Pitt Johnstown would be at the last spot. There's still a lot of time to go. And California has to play Pitt Johnstown on Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's a team that's struggling to stay in the playoff spot. So that is going to be a tough game going on the road Wednesday, especially against a team that's desperate to hold on to that 6th spot. So it's going to be an interesting one, but we still do have a lot of action left here in today's game to get through.
When we come back here, we're going to see Precious Martin check in for the first time in this ball game here. We're going to see Cece Dixon, Glenn, Mahadi, Martin, and Frotz here. And on that last play, Darica Jones-Carey was fouled, and she has 3 fouls, so one of Clarion's top players already in foul trouble.
And that's something to keep an eye on as well. The fouls are always a factor. We saw a few players foul out in the last game for the Vulcans, so we'll see what happens going on in this game.
Frotz gives it over to Glenn and back to Frotz. Frotz thinking around, gives it back to Glenn, fires it over to Mahadi. Mahadi with the hot hand, goes for a 3, no good, too short, rebounded by Boyd. Boyd hands it back to Holmes. Holmes inside, gives it to Straw. Straw, it's a corner, quick passing, finally, Arden Poyen blocked away by Mahadi and taken away by Caitlin Frotz. Frotz tries to get it to Mahadi, and somehow she gets the ball, spins around, puts up the shot, no good. Mahadi gets her own rebound and finally gets fouled. So Mahadi juggled it, lost it, got it back again, and threw up the rebound and draws a foul.
What a sequence right there. The Vulcans get a block on the other end. The ball's just hanging up in the air. They get the ball, or Frats gets the ball actually, and takes the long pass up to Mahadi. I thought for sure that was going to get picked off, but she was able to retain possession and got fouled on the play.
Mahadi will go to the line, sinks her first one there to make it 35-21 here, 4:26 remaining. Mahadi 81.1% from the line, one of the best on the team.
And all of a sudden, Mahadi had no points basically through the first 12 minutes of this first half, and now all of a sudden she has 8 as she makes that second free throw, just heating up and joining into the fray with Frotz and Glenn on the score sheet.
And Clarion now at 6 fouls, so California 1 foul away from getting in the bonus here. That was on Boyd that last play. Here's Harden Pulliam, fires it over to Holmes. Holmes almost loses it. Now she's double teamed, getting the best of bodies. Finally finds Boyd. She puts up a shot, no good, out of bounds. Boyd's still trying to recover it, and it'll go eventually. Looks like Boyd stepped on the line. It'll be California ball.
Yeah, Boyd trying to obtain possession right there. That ball was bouncing around quite a bit, and I guess just the backside of her foot was probably stepping on out of bounds, as that'll give the Vulcans the possession back.
And then after this next stop here, with 3:49 remaining, we'll have our immediate timeout. Here's Caitlin Frotz inside the Precious Martin. Martin with a spin around, no good, rebounded by Boyd.
And Precious Martin getting a good look right off the bat coming into this game. Just tried the spin around jump shot right there, but couldn't get it to bounce off the right way, and see if she can't get on the score sheet later on as well.
Here's Holmes. Sit back to Hoy. Hoy plows over. She's going to get called for a charge. She plowed over Precious Martin there, and that will put California in the bonus.
And yeah, 7th team foul already for Clarion. So that's something to watch as we go on through this game.
Well, we will take our final immediate timeout here. 3:26 left here in the first half, and the Vulcans controlling this game, up 15. Stay tuned for the rest of the first half here on CUTV.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted.
We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
And welcome back to the Convocation Center. We have 3:26 left here in the first half. The Vulcans lead by 15. My name is Matt Hagee. Alongside of me is Damon Matson. Today, Damon, our first broadcast together.
Yeah, it's been a good one so far, Matt. We're seeing the Vulcans come out strong in the first one, and glad to be here announcing the game along with you.
And Mickey Glenn will take it back here for the Vulcans, looking for closing out the stretch here, out to a 15-point lead, the largest this lead has been so far. Mahadi hands back to Glenn. Glenn with a long three and a snipe show. Mickey Glenn, 39-21. Mickey Glenn has 13.
That was an incredible shot. That was a really long-range three right there. Mickey Glenn showing off that great shot, and she's got 13 points in this game, really heating up.
Her and Frotz combined for 25 of the 39 Vulcans points. Here's Jen Straw. Straw with the left hand, no good, and she grabs her own rebound, but a big scrum leads to Mickey Glenn taking it back. Glenn will fire it down the Frotz. Gives it back to Glenn. Glenn, another three, no good. Long bounce, out of bounds. Harden Pulliam takes it and steps right out of bounds. Damon, I think if she would have left that go there, that probably could have been a Clarion ball.
That could have been. I believe the last person to touch it was Mickey Glenn on her shot, because that took a far rebound out towards the bench right over there, and I believe she was the last one to touch it. So, yeah, that could have been Clarion's possession.
So Mickey Glenn here, 2:35 left in the first half. Mahadi, guarded by Harden Pulliam. Works around there, gives it to Frotz. Frotz with a three. That one's good. Caitlin Frotz, Mickey Glenn going back at it. 42-21. This is starting to look like the IEP game.
It's incredible. The Vulcans just scoring a ton of points just like in their last outing. Their offense has been just on fire.
Now a 21-point lead for the Vulcans. Kara Cook, double team, pressured. No one to give it to, but Caitlin Frotz takes it. Cook had no help there as Frotz takes it back to Kuko. As now we hit 2 minutes to remaining here as Mahadi will set the offense. Mahadi fires it over to Frotz. Frotz with another long three. Why not? She buries it! Unbelievable. And Jana Ashley will take a timeout. Caitlin Frotz with 18.
I think if you're Clarion, you definitely had to take a timeout. I believe that was 3 straight three-pointers made by the Vulcans, and basically, if you will, your big three are on fire right now. Emma Mahadi, Caitlin Frotz, and Mickey Glenn just snipe show right now. They're hitting all of these three-pointers.
I mean, that was a pretty NBA long three right there, and that was an easy shot in Clarion with good defense. And Damon, normally we'd have a replay for a great shot like that, but you'll see highlights of this game on the Jess Strom show, which will be recorded and aired first Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here on CUTV. But we had to send our replay hardware back. It malfunctioned last week, but still you can see all the highlights of this game. If you want to see that great shot again, I'm sure it'll be on the Jess Strom show.
With all those shots that we've been seeing, those NBA-style threes right there, it is unfortunate we don't have the replay for you, but definitely tune into the coaches' show. We get to see those incredible shots that we've been seeing so far here today.
24-point lead, 1:45 left for the Vulcans. Now, Tanea Holmes, she has gone ice cold so far. She gives it back to Harden Pulliam, over to Boyd. Boyd chases around, and it's stolen away by Mickey Glenn. And she's found Kuko wide open. Kuko fires it over to Frotz. Frotz takes it back, puts up the shot. Caitlin Frotz has hit 20. We're not even at halftime. And now Clarion desperate to get something going here as they're falling well behind. 26-point lead for the Vulcans. Now Straw gives it to Harden Pulliam, back to Holmes. To Harden Pulliam once again. Now loses it. It's it back to Holmes, spins around, and looks like she'll draw a foul there on Mahadi.
And it is worth noting here, too, Caitlin Frotz's family's actually in the building so far
are
here today. Yeah, once again, and she is putting on a show for them. So incredible stuff to watch, and it looks like this will be an inbounds play actually after the foul.
There's always one thing that I always look forward to seeing. Where is the Frotz family sitting? You bring a whole crew out, and I'm sure she absolutely loves and has to have a great family like that. It comes out and supports her every single game, anywhere they go. But here is Clarion here. We have 1 minute remaining here in the first half. Jen Straw, guarded by Frotz, gives it over to Harden Pulliam. Harden Pulliam putting on some moves here. Precious Martin puts up a shot, and good. So Clarion gets some much-needed points, but Jen Straw's having herself a day so far.
They've been able to find her down below the basket. She's there. She gets the open passes, and she's in a fairly good game so far with those 8 points.
And Straw, again, trying to take in that Hannah Heater role. Hannah Heater, who has dominated the Vulcans for all these years. Here is Brittany Nelson with her first action of the game, puts up a shot, no good, and rebounded by Holmes. The shot clock is a difference of 1, so Clarion cannot hold it the whole way down. So now here is Holmes. with 5 points. She got him really early, but it's nice. So now guarded by Kuko on the line here, right by Holmes. Fires it over to Boyd. Boyd was open, no good. Rebounded by Frotz, and now with 7 seconds. And here is California. Glenn charges to the basket, plows over Boyd, no good. And Straw will get it, and that will end the first half here with California well in front.
It's been an incredible first half. I believe the Vulcans ended on a 17-2 run or something close to that, so they've had just an amazing offensive showing thus far in this game.
It's been natural for this Vulcans team. We'll take a halftime break here. When we come back, stay tuned for the second half of this ballgame with the Vulcans up 24 here on CUTV.
NCAA Division II has much to cheer about, as nearly 100,000 student athletes compete with passion and pride. And I'm pleased to share the best news of all. Student athletes are outperforming the rest of the D2 student body in graduation rates. Just another reason why you'll hear us say with pride, I chose Division II. Learn more at d2sa.org.
With 18 institutions, my conference is the largest league across all NCAA classifications. With nearly 7,000 student athletes competing in 23 championships, my conference sponsors the most championships in Division II. With a 78% academic success rate, my conference graduates student athletes well above the national average. We compete with passion. We take pride in our efforts in the arena and in the classroom. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Passion, pride, Pennsylvania.
And welcome back to the Convocation Center. We are getting ready for this second half between the California Vulcans and Clarion Golden Eagles. My name is Matt Hagee. Alongside of me is Damon Matson. Damon, California up by 24. Seems like they've been up by 20 a lot at halftime these past few games. But we're going to take a look at some of the first half stats here. And when we see these stats here, Damon, what's the one thing that jumps out at you?
It's just been an impressive offensive performance all around for the Vulcans. And I think the biggest thing that stands out to me, look at that the three-point shots, 5 for 9 by the Vulcans. They had a lot of long threes there near the end of the first half, and putting up 47 points to start this game is just an amazing job by the Vulcans once again.
And 4 of those 5 three-pointers have been made by Caitlin Frotz, where she's shooting 4 for 5. Damon, she has 20 points so far in her first half. And the way she's been shooting, she could, if she continues to clip up, and if Coach Strom keeps her in the game here, it set a new California single-game record for points. The old record was set by Lara Thornton back in 93-94 against these same Clarion Golden Eagles, and the most recent big game was by Kayla Smith back in the 09-10 season against West Virginia State. The all-time record is held by 48 points by Terry Gunder, all from Millersville back in the 70s. So it'd be really interesting to see if Frotz continues this huge pace up.
At the pace she's going right now with those 20 points, and the way her shots have looked, she has been phenomenal. 4 for 5 on threes and 8 of 9 on field goal attempts. She has just been on fire, been on point here. We could see history possibly today, Matt. We could.
Yeah. And her success all started after the rough Gannon game where she didn't do very well, but against Slippery Rock she tore up. Edinburgh, she scorched them. Mercier, she put up 25 points, which is a season high, which she's, well on her way to break that if she continues that up. And then against IUP, she had 21, so she's one of the hottest players in the PSAC, and she keeps this up. I see no reason why she shouldn't win PSAC West Player of the Week.
Oh, with the way she's performed over these last few games, absolutely. I could see that being an award that she gets here very soon. And also on a side note too, not only is she having a great game, but a couple of other key players for the Vulcans, Emma Mahadi and Mickey Glenn, also doing a good job on the score sheet here so far today.
And you can just see the fun they're having. Look at we get the little kisses to the camera. She can see it. That's so great. But we talked to Jess Strom about that, about how they have one of the most lively benches of any team in the PSAC. I definitely agree with that. I get a kick out of watching them every single game.
And I've seen it every time, especially if I am on the side doing camera a couple of games, I get to see it. It's just fun to watch.
Good friend Steve Marion doing camera 3 is with Clarion will start with the ball. Hardin Pulliam had possession, lost, looks like it ran out on Lana Doran, and Clarion will retain possession.
The one thing I am curious to watch, though, the Vulcans have had kind of slow starts to the second halves of games as we've gone along through this season. So we'll see if they start out slow and let Clarion back in a little bit, if they keep up the intensity.
Here is Harden Pulliam looking for a lane. She gives it back to Holmes. Holmes with a long three, no good, rebounded by Mickey Glenn. And Glenn looking around right up the gut on Boyd, puts up a shot and puts it in. Mickey Glenn with 15 points.
And on that play, you're not going to stop Mickey Glenn. She's going to go to the basket. She is going to get there, and right there, once again, done that a few times in this game, just went right where she wanted to go for that shot.
Harden Pulliam fires it out to Tanea Holmes. Holmes inside Delrika Jones-Carey. Carey gets the ball stolen from her by the other 22 in the court, Kuko, who gives it to Frotz. Now over to Mahadi with speed, then back to Doran, and out to Glenn. Great passing. Glenn finishes it off, and Mickey Glenn with first 4 points to start this half. She's got 17.
And on the transition right there, the Vulcans slowing it down. They were going fast to the net right there, but they knew they had defenders coming back for Clarion, so they were able to put the ball back into Glenn's hands, who gets the open look.
Now Harden Pulliam trying to get it off here. Now a 28-point lead for the Vulcans. Here's Delrika Jones-Carey for two. That's a nice looking shot there by Jones-Carey, and gets her first 2 points in a while. Now Glenn charging around the trap here. Now Jones-Carey making it happen on defense and gives it to Harden Pulliam. Harden Pulliam's got 2 girls to beat, puts on the moves, loses possession, goes out on Mahadi, Clarion ball.
And it looks like on that one right there, Clarion implementing a new style of defense right there, trying to trap the Vulcans before they get up the court too quickly for them to handle it. So that's a different look there, and it worked for Clarion, getting the turnover.
But they need to do anything possible. I mean, they got 26 points here as Jasmine Boyd almost has it lost, and it's finally found by Harden Pulliam. Almost another steal by the great Vulcans inbound defense. Tanea Holmes looking for Harden Pulliam, finds her. She goes around taking her time here. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now Harden Pulliam drives to the basket, fishes it over to Boyd. She puts it back here, and Jasmine Boyd has 8 points.
That was an interesting pass right there, too. That pass basically went over the net. I thought it was going to be a shot, but it worked out, and 2 points for Clarion.
So each team now with 4 points to start the second half here. 24-point lead for the Vulcans. Glenn will take her out. She gives it off to Mahadi. Mahadi puts in the moves, puts up a jumper, no good, and no one there but Jen Straw to get the rebound. Holmes will take it back here. Only 5 points for her, and it was a quick start for Holmes, which Vulcans have really shut her down, put the double team on her. You can do that without Hannah Heater in the game, as she tries to find Jones-Carey. Doran tried to steal it, but it went out on her, and Clarion will retain possession.
You can do that, especially Deanna Holmes has had she had a huge game against the Vulcans in the last meeting between these two, and she's been very good on offense thus far too as well, so can focus in, try to play really good defense against her. It's worked out so far for the Vulcans.
And Hannah Heater, Harden Pulliam puts up a shot, gets her own rebound, puts it back, no good, still big thrown. Jones-Carey finally picks it up and puts it in for Clarion, and now Jones-Carey has 4. Now, quick pass, Emma Mahadi all alone. She puts it back in to end the 6-0 run by the Golden Eagles.
And that puts Mahadi now in the double digits. So 3 Vulcans players with a lot of points thus far in this game. And that's the big 3 that they have. Mahadi, Frats, and Glenn doing a very good job.
Now Clarion going around here. Here's Tanea Holmes putting on good speed, fires it over to Boyd. Boyd puts up a shot and puts it in. Now Jasmine Boyd, the first Clarion player with double digits. Glenn gets it over to Frotz. She loses it and right in the arms of Jones-Carey. Looks like Frotz slipped. Now Jones-Carey on Frotz. Plows over Frotz, but she's going to get called for a travel anyway. But she absolutely could have got called for a foul there, too.
Yeah, that time it was an interesting call by the refs. They made the right call, I believe. They probably did make the right call on that one, I believe. And as we're going to see right here, though, Frats coming off the court. She looked a little shaken up after that collision and losing the ball in that last possession. So we sure hope that she's all right.
Can't afford to lose her, but it looks like she had a bit. She slipped there in a second with the hard floor. Probably just getting a little bit of a breather, get a little sip of water. As Glenn will take it back here. Resetting the offense here. So over to Mahadi. Mahadi now puts it back, takes a long 2, no good. Rebounded by Holmes. A huge guard there by Brittany Nelson. Now she's double teamed. Doran joins the party. Holmes gets her on the track, falls, and draws a foul. That'll be the first foul so far by any team. We're almost 4 minutes in.
Yeah, we talked about Clarion actually only had 1 free throw attempt in the entire first half, so they really never did go to the line that much. The Vulcans didn't take that many fouls, but they're taking a few more here so far in the second half.
And that 1 free throw attempt was off of a 3-point play attempt, so the Vulcans have not sent Clarion to the line for at least 2 shots or a 1-and-1. Here's Jen Straw, gives it back to Boyd. guarded by Dorr, and now Nelson joins, and Nelson's going to get called for a foul.
And that's almost as many fouls as the Vulcans had the entire first half, as they had only 3, so 2 right off the bat here. But that just pretty much speaks to the great style of defense that they play. You can play great defense and not take too many fouls. It's a big part of their game.
That was the other one for Edinburgh. In the Edinburgh game last Saturday, they did not allow Edinburgh the free throw strike until the second half. Boyd charges to the basket, and she's got 12 points. She matches her jersey number. Now, and Clarion trying to get the defense turned up here. Harden Pulliam's going to get called for her first foul of the game.
And Clarion did take quite a few, speaking about fouls, they did take quite a few fouls in that first half, so that could be a factor later on.
We'll have our first media timeout of the second half here. 20-point lead for the Vulcans. Clarion pulling in a little bit close, but still, with the way California's playing, it's going to be a very, very tough hill to climb if Clarion wants to try to get back in this game. And we're going to take a look at the stat rankings here. It looks like California well at the top and Clarion's well at the bottom.
Yeah, we can tell. You saw it at the tail of the tape at the beginning of the game as well. These two teams on paper, it definitely favors the Vulcans in pretty much every stat category you can think of. But and right now it's speaking to it with the score that we got right now. The Vulcans playing great, doing great on defense, doing great on offense, and pretty high up there in the PSAC with that scoring margin second. And you're seeing that right here as well with a 20-point lead.
And absolutely, you're right. I mean, in those stat rankings, they're competing with IUP, only behind IUP in scoring margin. It's why there's two teams just dominated so far. And with IUP storming over Gannon the other night, it looks like pretty much to see that IUP and California could be the 2 best teams in the PSAC, along with Bloomsburg out east.
Yeah, they seem to be the teams to beat thus far, and it would be interesting as we go on through the end here of the regular season. We saw the matchup last Wednesday, IUP and California. If they went back at it again, it would be one heck of a matchup to watch.
And the next time they would face them would be in the PSAC final, because they will obviously, as long as something crazy doesn't happen, if California takes care of business, they will be 1-2, and the only way they'd face it, both get first round byes, both would get to host a second round game, and then if they would both win, they'd get to the PSAC Final 4, but then they'd get to face an East team first, but then if they both won, they'd play each other in the PSAC Championship. That's for another day. Right now, Irina Kuko is inbounded for Mickey Glenn. And she hands it off to Emma Mahadi. There are no substitutions so far for California. Now Mahadi works around. Jasmine Boyd goes to the basket. She gets fouled. That will be Boyd's second.
And there was a good coverage right there by Clarion, as they had all the options for a pass right there covered from Mahadi. She was able to find that lane, just decided to go to the basket and drew the foul, so she'll get a chance to get to the free throw stripe.
Mahadi will go back to the line. She is 2 for 2 so far in the free throw stripe, and that one rims out. So, but still a nice game by Emma Mahadi. 10 points so far. 3 Vulcans in double digits. They had 4 against IUP, and now Mahadi puts that one back here and make it 11 points for her and a 21-point lead for the Vulcans. Clarion takes it back here. Harden Pulliam gives it over to Holmes. Holmes now gives it to Harden Pulliam. Harden Pulliam has still not scored in this game. She gives it back to Holmes. Holmes on the baseline, gets it out the straw. That one's stolen away, but couldn't be corralled there by Brittany Nelson, but still good defense.
Very good coverage right there, trying to force the bad pass if they can get more steals as we go along here, and they keep this up. This 20-point lead is easily going to be held up as we move along with 15 minutes about left in this game.
Jasmine Boyd hands it off to Straw, back to Boyd. Those are the 2 leading scorers for Clarence so far. Now Boyd, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Mahadi there, but it looked like Mahadi's feet were not set there.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. I think she was trying to get her feet set, but wasn't too sure. The refs made the call, and got to go with what happens right there. Now, it'll still just be an inbounds play, though, as Clarion has yet to go to the free throw line yet.
Bang, bang play, but now Mahadi has 2 fouls of her own, and now inbounds it. Harden Pulliam gets it back to Delrica Jones-Carey. Jones-Carey with a move, goes to the basket. Very impressive play there. California will take it back here. Now gives it over to Kuko. Kuko drives to the basket and draws a foul. Looks like that is going to be on Jones-Carey, and that will be her 4th. So she's in foul trouble, and she's hit double digits herself.
And that's what we were speaking to that before we saw the stat rankings right there. Yeah, Clarion took quite a few fouls in that first half, so they could have quite a few players that possibly could be in foul trouble, as we will actually see a substitution now.
We will see, See what that is, 42, Carrie Studer. She is a freshman from Hopewell. Kuko puts the second one in, and she'll go 1 for 2 herself.
And that is going to play a big factor for Clarion, especially with Jones Carey now out on the bench for now with foul trouble. She's been a big factor in this game, scoring a lot of points and playing good defense.
Harden Pulliam gives it over to Doran. He gives it over to Holmes, all guarded by Doran, almost stolen away by Doran. Holmes fires over to Boyd. Boyd works around Mahadi, gives it to Straw. Straw backed up, 5 seconds of shot clock. Here is Boyd, no good. Rebound, and Nelson slaps it right in the Harden Pulliam's hands. So now Harden Pulliam puts a move. No, they'll call a foul away from the basket down low. Looks like it will be on Kuko. That will be her first.
After a first half where we saw a lot of quick action, not much stoppage, it was a pretty just fast-paced game. We're seeing a lot of fouls here so far in the second half. Just it seems like a different game now with all this, the slower pace of play.
Harden Pulliam gets in the Studer. She puts up a shot, no good. Kuko falls down. She's gonna get called for the travel. She fell down, but I mean, I'll tell you what though, she fell down there, but that could have been easily a jump ball.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I saw her fall down with the ball, and she seemed to fall straight down on her back.
That was a terrible call. But inside the Jasmine Boyd, she puts it back, and Boyd continues her hot second half with 14 points. Now Glenn will hand it off to Mahadi. We'll see Sierra Barrett for the first time. Now she gives it over to Kuko. Kuko puts it back, gives it to Nelson, stolen away by Harden Pulliam. Clarion going back here, and now California's starting to go in a bit of a dry spell. She goes around, loses the ball, gets it back. Gets it out to Holmes. Vulcans by 18 points here, 13:46 remaining. Holmes goes around Kuko, puts up a shot and ends her scoring drought here. Tanea Holmes, and now it's a 16-point lead for the Vulcans.
We spoke to it earlier, how the Vulcans sometimes come out a little bit, I guess, slow in the second half, and thus far it's been that way. Clarion slowly trying to climb back in this game. It's still a large deficit to overcome, but they've had a good start to their second half.
A lot of Jasmine Boyd, very surprising, well above her total, but now Kuko gets fouled. Looks like they're going to call it there on Studer, I believe. It will be on Studer, her first.
And Kuko now I feel like she's just trying to get something going for this offense. She's cut to the basket now quite a few times, taking some hard falls, drawing the fouls, but she's just trying to get this offense going.
Kuko puts in the first free throw there. She's been the free throw stripe numerous times so far. She's now 4 for 5. And Kuko has 4 points herself in this game, had 17. She misses that one. Nelson tries to get a rebound. Studer throws that right into Doran's hands, and she puts it back in. There's the tough play. You see the freshman right there, Studer, kind of got a little panicked. But Doran right there to put it back here, and it ended up they getting a 3-point play out of a two-shot free throw attempt. Now Straw trying to get the basketball stolen away by Doran, gives it back to Glenn. Now Frotz has joined Barrett on the scorer's table. They will be checking in at the next stoppage. Here's Mahadi inside the Kuko. Kuko charges around the baseline, throws it up, no good. Rebounded by Nelson. Nelson guarded and gets fouled by Jen Straw.
Now those last couple possessions there by the Vulcans is something that's gonna, if you're gonna turn this thing back around in your favor, that's what you got to do. They get the great bounce off the backboard, get the ball, get the 3-point play, and then right there getting another foul called here.
And Brittany Nelson would go to the line. She is 75% on the season, but I mean, I cannot remember the last time she's been the free throw stripe, and she missed the first one there. But Damon, I don't think she really goes to the line enough to get a lot of practice. We're going to see Frotz and Barrett check in for Kuko and Mahadi.
No, I don't believe she does either, but she will, if she can get a point right here, she will get on the score sheet as another one of the Vulcans players there. That'll be the 7th Vulcan with a point in this game.
And actually, the last time Brittany Nelson was at the free throw stripe was back at Clarion. So now she sinks the second one there. She gets herself on the board, and it's now a 20-point lead again. Studer gives it around to Harden Pulliam. Getting double teamed. Pulls up for a jumper. No good. Rebounded by Boyd. And now Boyd gives it an errant pass, stolen away by Nelson, gives it to Doran. Doran, she's got Holmes to beat, puts on the speed, puts on the defense, shot too short, rebounded by Holmes, and it takes it back.
And almost a great just turnaround by the Vulcans, getting that ball on the steal and taking it for 2. Unfortunately, the shot didn't fall for Doran.
Holmes gives it to Straw. Straw using a 6-1 frame there to give it back to Holmes. Now here is Holmes going around to the basket. No good. Rebounded by Brittany Nelson. Gives it back to Doran. Now Glenn will take it back here. We'll see Precious Martin check in. Actually, next stoppage will be the next media timeout here. Glenn controls it. Looking around, gives it over to Frotz. Frotz is only 0 points this second half. Here she goes to the basket. No good. Rebounded by Jen Straw.
And you can see the Vulcans on that possession trying to slow the pace of play down. They do have that 20-point lead with about 11:25 left on the clock.
Harden Pulliam for three, no good. Rebounded by Doran. Doran fires it back to Glenn. Glenn gives it over to Barrett, right up the gut. Puts in the shot, no good, but fouled by Tanea Holmes. That will be her second.
And that'll probably be the stoppage we're looking for, as we're probably going to head to our next break.
And we will be going to our next break here. We have 11:16 to go in the second half. California well on their way. 20-point lead over the Clarion Golden Eagles. Stay tuned for the rest of the action here on CUTV.
With 18 institutions, my conference is the largest league across all NCAA classifications. With nearly 7,000 student athletes competing in 23 championships, my conference sponsors the most championships in Division II. With a 78% academic success rate, my conference graduates student athletes well above the national average. We compete with passion. We take pride in our efforts in the arena and in the classroom. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Passion, pride, Pennsylvania.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted.
We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Welcome back to the Convocation Center here. We have 11:16 to go in the second half, and we're going to come back here. California with 20-point lead over the Clarion Golden Eagles, and Sierra Barrett will be going to the free throw stripe for the first time today.
And worth noting, as we saw there at the end of, before we went to our break, Caitlin Frotz, who seemed like she was shaken up a little bit on that play, leading all scoring with 20 points. She was actually able to return in the game. We saw her come back, and it seems like there's no injury that's apparent, so she seems to be fine, which is really good for the Vulcans.
Yeah, I mean, can't imagine her going down. And Sierra Barrett, only 2 points so far in this game. But Damon, how many times we've seen this? She kind of goes quiet in the first half. The second half, she just turns on a switch. And when she's on, I mean, my goodness, it's a sight to see.
Yeah, she does, especially in the second half of games. She has been a big factor for the Vulcans. But even so, in the first half, not on offense, she plays great defense, that aggressive style of play. So no matter what, she is always a factor in these games.
Sierra Barrett misses the first free throw there. That was a little short. She is only shooting 56.8% on the season and makes the second one there to make it a 21-point lead for the Vulcans. They've hit 60. So Harden Pulliam will take it back here for Clarion. See Precious Martin checked into the game for Doran. Now Holmes backs up, gives it over to Harden Pulliam in the corner. No good. Rebounded by Boyd over top Frotz. Straw with a long jumper. She puts it in there. That was a nice looking shot.
Not only is she putting those layups down, but she's also got a good shot right there. As you see that long two. So she has 10 points in this game, playing a good game for Clarion.
So now Glenn gives it over to Frotz. Frotz goes to the basket, puts it up. No good, and she gets fouled. And she takes a spill again. You always can't see there. Now she's kind of holding her head, but it looks like she'll be okay. But Jen Straw with an aggressive foul will be second.
Yeah, Frotz and Kuko, we saw her also slowly get up after the one foul that she took, and both those players seem to be taking some hard falls in this game, so hopefully, got to be careful, make sure nobody gets hurt.
Frotz, that one goes in and out. Vulcans, the players overall have been not hitting both free throws at the same time here. But Caitlin Frotz on Wednesday will be returning to her former school, Pitt Johnstown, as Frotz splits her free throws, and she has 21 on the day. That leads all scorers on the floor. Here is Harden Pulliam. It's over to Holmes. Over to Harden Pulliam. Now Holmes from the corner, no good. Rebounded by Precious Martin. Gets out to Frotz all alone with great speed. Frotz puts it in and good. Caitlin Frotz now with 3 points right in a row.
You can't keep her down for long. She used that speed after the Vulcans got the turnover, and she went right up the court, no problem with the easy 2.
Holmes. And then with that speed, I mean, you can just find her down the court and just charges away from anyone. Here's Straw. Straw falls down and gives it to Studer, gives it back to Hart and Pulliam. Pulliam puts on the moves. It hands it right to Precious Martin in a turnover. Here's Mickey Glenn. Frotz is open. Glenn will pull back, give it to Barrett instead. She'll put it up and in. Sierra Barrett with 5 on the day. She matches her jersey number.
And there is Sierra Barrett putting in that offensive work for the Vulcans, getting the pass, easily went to the basket for the 2.
And a smart move there for Glenn. She saw Frotz, she had Frotz, but she just pulled back and found Barrett, who was even more wide open. Hart and Pulliam almost lost the ball. Finds it over to Holmes. 9:23 left in the second half. It's Jen Straw. Straw, 5 on the shot clock, puts up a shot, no good. But they're gonna call a blocking. It's gonna be Jen Straw there. She'll get called for a charge on Mickey Glenn. That's her 3rd.
And Straw doing what she has been doing all game, just playing that aggressive style, trying to go straight to the basket, as herself and Boyd have been the main scorers so far for Clarion. She's just trying to, with 9:17 left, at least kind of cut this deficit, if anything, for Clarion so far.
Here is Caitlin Frotz, will be taking it down there. Mickey Glenn checked out for CC Dixon. There's Sierra Barrett. Barrett tried to find Nelson, but she was double teamed. And now Hart and Pulliam will take it back. Hart and Pulliam gives it back to Holmes. Holmes flips it over. That ball swatted and finally taken away by Precious Martin aggressively. She gives it to CC Dixon. And gives it back to Caitlin Frotz to take it over. More good defense. Frotz hands it over to Precious Martin. Martin inside to Dixon. Dixon stolen away by Studer. Looks like she lost possession there.
Precious Martin on the defensive side of the ball. I know she hasn't gotten on the score sheet yet, but we've seen her play good defense over these last few minutes, just getting the steals and guarding every single time.
Holmes hands it off to Hart and Pulliam. Now she's guarded by CC Dixon. Puts on moves and it gives to Holmes. She almost lost it, almost went off her foot. Guarded by Frotz here, 5 on the shot clock. Holmes puts up a shot, no good, air ball, rebounded by Sierra Barrett. Caitlin Frotz to take it back here and set the offense. And then the next stoppage now, as we get under 8 minutes, will be the 3rd media timeout. Here is Precious Martin over to Barrett. Barrett goes to the basket and gets fouled by Studer. That will be her 2nd.
And Sierra Barrett just going aggressively to the basket once again, drawing the foul like she always does, and she has a chance to get a couple more points in this game.
19 fouls for Clarion, so one more will put California in the double bonus here. We have our 3rd media timeout of the second half, 65-41 Vulcans, and it looked like they kind of let the lead move in a little bit, but take it right back. And Damon, here's our YouTube page.
Yeah, one of the ways to keep connected with us is our YouTube page at CUTV Sports 1. You can get on there, check out basically all of our shoots that we've done over the past, and always a good way to, if you miss a broadcast, to catch up on whatever you've missed.
And then definitely, and here's our Facebook page, CUTV. We love our social media at California University Television. We post all videos that we do on here, all news videos, sports videos, anything we do. There's the package I did this last week on how to be a good sports fan. Check that out on our YouTube page. And so I had a lot of fun filming that package. I was right here in the Convocation Center. And everyone that's seen it so far has got a good laugh. And here's our Twitter, why not, at CUTV_PA. And there we are, both wearing blue shirts. So, I mean, we did this perfectly. And I can turn around the camera and say, hi, what's up? And, I mean, we're having a great time here today. We all have a great time. And then at CUTV_PA, tweet us there for any updates that we do. We take a lot of photos put on there of like our stuff, our equipment, and just showing that we have all the action, and tweet at us and maybe mention us what players you want us to look at for the Pitt Johnstown game on Wednesday.
It's a good way to stay connected with us. I love using Twitter myself. Good way to keep up with the sports world, and another good way to keep up with your California Vulcans and CUTV as we cover them.
Now Sierra Barrett will go to the line here. She was 1 for 2 the first time. Barrett puts it in. And now Sierra Barrett has 6 points, 4 of them coming in the second half so far.
It's good to see her getting rewarded with those points. Like I said, the way she plays, that gritty style, always making the down low plays. Doesn't show up on the score sheet, but these kind of shots do, as she now has 7 on the game.
And Barrett sinking both free throws. It is now a 26-point deficit for the Golden Eagles. Again, 7:46 left here in the game. Harden Pulliam gives it over to Boyd. Boyd trying to find someone. Here's Holmes. Now she's double teamed by CeCe Dixon and Nelson. She pulls back. Holmes puts up a shot and will get fouled. Looks like it will be on Dixon.
And that's a different defensive look right there for the Vulcans. They're still playing the same kind of system they've had all game long, but that was different because they were out there. I could see them screaming and trying to be loud, moving around consistently, just trying to confuse the Clarion players, and that time, unfortunately, they got called for the foul.
And that was actually on Brittany Nelson, her third, and Tanea Holmes will go to the line for the first time today and misses the first one. Tanea Holmes shooting 77.9%, but this is the first time Clarion's actually gone for free throw attempts that wasn't off of a 2-point play. Holmes will split the free throws. She went to the free throw line 13 times in the first meeting between these first two teams. It's frauds. Aaron passed, but CeCe Dixon gives it over to Sierra Barrett. Big wrestling match on the floor. Maria Taylor jump ball, and it'll be Vulcan's possession.
And that time the refs decided to call the jump ball right there. And yeah, Sierra Barrett once again trying to keep that pass. She did lose it, but was able to almost corral it back in, and jump ball at least. It'll keep the Vulcans in possession.
But luckily for no one there, Frotz almost overshot CeCe Dixon. No Clarion player was there to steal it. Frotz will pull back here to reset the offense. Frotz is around 8 seconds on the shot clock. Gives it over to Precious Martin. Now over to Dixon. Dixon 3 on the shot clock. Dixon takes a shot. No good. Rebounded out of bounds off of Caitlin Frotz.
That was a tough break. Shot clock was winding down, so they had to take the shot right there. And Sierra Barrett almost corralled that in, but it did go off of Frotz. So tough break, and give Clarion the possession back.
Here is Harden Pulliam. It over to Delrika Jones-Carey. She has 4 fouls. She fouled out in the first matchup, so that'd be interesting to see if she fouls out both times against California. Holmes drives to the basket and draws a foul on Precious Martin.
Yeah, Precious Martin just jumping in the way right there, trying to get her hand on the ball. That time, though, it made contact, and most of the time you're going to get a foul called, unfortunately, right there. And then in that case, it happened once again.
6 fouls now for California. One more puts Clarion in the bonus. That was Martin's first, and Holmes hits her first free throw here. These attempts. She is from Dorchester, Massachusetts, Medford High School. She is the team's leading scorer, 15.9.
And Holmes, yeah, you talked about it, not going to the free throw stripe as much here in this game, which I feel like has helped the Vulcans keep this game pretty much in their favor with a huge lead.
Sierra Barrett hands it off to Frotz. Holmes with 10 points now. 3 Golden Eagles in double digits. Same with the Vulcans. They have 3 as well. Here's Dixon. Dixon fires it over to Frotz. Frotz moves around. It's inside to Dixon. Dixon swatted away by Maria Taylor, but out of bounds.
And it has been actually a very high-scoring game in this one. Both teams actually combining now already for over 110 points. So it has just been a back-and-forth shootout in a way, favoring the Vulcans to this point.
The Vulcans putting a lot of numbers up recently. Here's Frotz, long 3, off the rim, big scrum for it. Martin gets the rebound right about the Frotz. Martin gets the huge rebound right there, and Frotz now looking around, fires it over to Sierra Barrett. Barrett puts up a shot, no good, rebounded by Maria Taylor.
And that was an interesting bounce. I thought for sure that shot was going in for Sierra Barrett, but it seemed to just hit the inside of it, inside of the basket, and just come right back out. So tough break.
Harden Pulliam looking around, almost it's stolen away now and swatted away by Sierra Barrett, and it'll go off here. 5:43 remaining in the second half.
And a tough pass right there as Clarion's just trying to do something right there, trying to force passes, it seems like, just a little bit, especially trying to get it to Jasmine Boyd, who's been on fire for them here today with her 14 points.
Yeah, she only averages 5 points a game, so she's well above her season average. Boyd going to the basket, puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Nelson, and good rebound by the junior transfer. She's transferring from Lackawanna College, and Caitlin Frotz will take it back here. Frotz over to Martin, inside to Dixon, now to Nelson, right to Martin. Good play, and Martin will draw the foul on Maria Taylor. That will be her first.
That pass was right in the midst of 4 Clarion defenders, so Precious Martin working in tight space right there, and Matt, it'll be interesting to see as we get down through the last 5 minutes or so of this game if the Vulcans decide to slow it down a little bit on offense to just kill some of that clock and pretty much hold the lead.
And Precious Martin gets a friendly bounce right there for her first point of the day. She's shooting 83.3 so far on the season. But again, she doesn't go a lot. And the southpaw for the second one puts it in. She buries both free throws to make it a 69-44 game.
And she is now the 8th Vulcan to get on the score sheet. So once again, Vulcans distributing the ball very well and using that teamwork, just getting a lot of points on the board.
Now Clarion trying to counter Hardin Pulliam over to Delrika Jones-Carey. She puts up a shot and puts it in. Jones-Carey's got 12.
And here are the Vulcans now coming up with a little bit of a slower pace, but the trap for Clarion.
Now the trap almost does get trapped by Clarion. It gets it to work. Here's Holmes. Fires over to Hardin Pulliam. Now inside. Oh, Delrika Jones-Carey. Too much movement, and she'll get called for a travel. That would have been really something if they would have pulled that off.
That was a great defensive play with the trap right there by Clarion. Got it up the court quickly, but on that one, it seemed like Jones-Carey got that ball in an awkward position, and she had to try to adjust herself and got called for the travel.
Frotz. And double team, putting on the moves around. Gives it over to Martin. Now back to Frotz. Frotz lobs it to Sierra Barrett. Barrett puts in the basket. Sierra Barrett, she's got 9.
Getting rewarded as you go on through the second half. Almost into double digits again. She's just had an impressive game all around.
Now 4:14 left in the ball game here. See Tanea Holmes. Gives over to Hardin Pulliam. Inside Delrika Jones-Carey. Jones-Carey puts shot no good. Rebounded by Barrett. Barrett will pull it back here, slow it down. And the next stoppage here will be the final immediate timeout here. Fraud's directing traffic here. So over to Barrett, over to CeCe Dixon, back to Barrett. Barrett for double-digit points, no good. Rebounded by Maria Taylor. Barrett steals it back right to Nelson. What a play.
And we actually just had the barrier right over to my left right here get knocked back in towards us as Barrett was trying her hardest to save that basketball.
That was a great play there by Sierra Barrett to keep possession. A fresh shot clock for the Vulcans. And now Frotz tries to get to Nelson. Goes out of bounds on Clarion. This will be our final media timeout of the game here. Stay tuned for the final 3 minutes and 25 seconds of this game. California well ahead, 71-46 on CUTV.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted.
We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Welcome back to the Convocation Center here. Damon, here are the next 4 broadcasts we have right here at Pitt Johnstown, Seton Hill, Gannon, and at Slippery Rock. But the last time this Vulcan women team went up to Pitt Johnstown, they lost.
Yeah, so Wednesday's game against Pitt Johnstown, we talked about it a little bit earlier, is going to be a big game. They're a team they're a team struggling to keep their playoff spot in that 6th spot, so they're going to be a tough team to play against.
Yeah, they were hopped over by Seton Hill. They had a hot start to the season on offense, but they've kind of died down a little bit. Here's CeCe Dixon with a long 2, no good. Rebounded by Nelson. Nelson puts it back in. Brittany Nelson with 3 points today.
That's her first field goal of the game, and you could hear the bench right there screaming for her. Happy to hear her get those 2 points here today.
I mean, you think about it, it's the future. She's the future. Here's Jess Straw. And it looks like Nelson will get called for a foul here. That will be her 4th. And Straw was almost, she tried to force Straw on the baseline, but now that will force California into the bonus, so Clarion will get to go to the free throw stripe every time there's a foul. Straw is only 61.1% on the season from the free throw strike.
Yeah, that was a tough place to be right there. Straw, of course, definitely the biggest player out there on the court. And when she gets down low trying to fight for position, she usually is able to get it right there. Did all she could, but got the foul called.
That first free throw rimmed in and out and back in again. Straw from North Huntington, Norwin High School. That one is no good. It'll be rebounded by Cece Dixon, and it gives it over to Mickey Glenn. Will take it back here. 2:55 to go left in this game. As Dixon hands it off to Barrett. Barrett hands it back to Mickey Glenn. Glenn hands it off to Cece Dixon. Now inside to Martin. Martin spins on Boyd, puts it in, precious Martin. She's got 4.
After making 2 free throws of her own, she also gets her first field goal of the day. So distributing the ball well are the Vulcans, and with 2:30 left in the game, they pretty much have this locked up.
Hardin Pulliam, 2:24 remaining. Gives it over to Boyd, the leading scorer in the day for the Golden Eagles. Maria Taylor to Jones Carey, puts it in. And now Jones Carey with 14 a day. She matches Jasmine Boyd. So Mickey Glenn will take it back here. Glenn over to Barrett. Barrett, so Taylor. It looks like she'll draw a foul on Maria Taylor. That will be her second.
And that time, I believe Clarion's defenders thought she was once again going to go to the net, so playing aggressively against her. She looked like she was just trying to pass that out to the perimeter, though. Still got the foul called, though.
Barrett will go back to the line again. She is 3 for 4 in the day. 3rd trip. That one rims out. But just can't say how much Barrett has meant to this team. Just really emerging. You could start to see it as before it went to winter break, but this, I mean, especially the calendar change of 2015. She's been incredible. Barrett makes the second one. She is now in double digits once again. Now 4 Vulcan players in double digits. As now we'll see Tanea Holmes check back in for Maria Taylor. 2:02 remaining in this ball game.
And for Sierra Barrett, she's played so well, and she's still only a freshman, so you can only imagine as she goes along here through the next couple of years, she continues to get better and better. She could be a big factor for this team in the future.
I mean, our director, Gary Smith, has compared her to former Vulcan Samir Villia, and she was on the national championship team back in 2004. And watching highlights as Clarion puts it back here, I believe that's Hardin Pulliam's first 2 points of the game, and it is, but I watched an old game with her, and she is just absolutely, the comparisons are definitely real. It's good company to be in with. Here's Barrett. That one's swatted away by Boyd right in the arms of Nelson. Nelson can't get it to go. Clarion will rebound.
Yeah, it definitely is good company to be in for Sierra Barrett if you're getting compared to somebody that was a national champion. So, hey, maybe it's a foreshadow to the future. We never know.
Holmes gives it over to Hardin Pulliam. Gives it over to Boyd. Boyd goes on the baseline, puts up a shot and puts it in. Jasmine Boyd, I mean, I did not see this coming.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that Jasmine Boyd. You talked about it. She's only averaging about 5.5 points a game, and here she is with 16. So she's having a fantastic game for Clarion.
We are under a minute. Here is Cece Dixon putting the shot no good. Nelson slaps it out, and it will be Clarion ball.
And Matt, you got to say, especially with the way the Vulcans have played over these last few games, going down the home stretch here, looking at how impressive they've been, you've got to think that if they're playing this hot going into the playoffs, they're going to be a really tough team to play against.
Oh, they really are. It's not going to be an easy stretch this season. You mentioned it. Pitt Johnstown's always a tough place to play. Seton Hill comes in. That's a good team. They don't really play well at the Convocation Center, though. But then you got Gannon on senior day. That'll be a huge matchup. That could possibly decide. As we see the ball stolen away by Precious Martin. That Gannon game, though, now right now it's less meaning to it for at least Gannon because they lost yesterday, but the shot clock has been turned off here. Mickey Glenn will stand at center court, and once again, another dominating performance by this Vulcan women team as they will claim a half game on first place of IUP, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's the ball game. The Vulcan women, 76-53 over the Clarion Golden Eagles.
It has just been an impressive last few games for the Vulcans. They came out here once again, did what they had to do. They had a fantastic game. Caitlin Frotz with 23 points just dominated, and the Vulcans deserve the win all around today here against Clarion.
17 for Mickey Glenn, 11 from Emma Mahadi, and Sierra Barrett, again with 10 points. Our next broadcast will be this upcoming Wednesday from the Pitt Johnstown Sports Complex on February 11th, California, Pitt Johnstown. And that will do it here today for the Sunday matinee game. For Damon Madsen, for entirely talented CUTV crew, my name is Matt Hagee. Thanks for watching this broadcast of Vulcan Women Basketball, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.